What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Professor Anime coming back at you with another video. In today's video, guys, I am here to bring you all my review of Erased episode 12, otherwise known as the finale of Boku dake ga Inai Machi. So, let's get right into it. So pretty much just to summarize what went down this episode, we do in fact get the conclusion to the series. The series is finally over, but what really went down in this episode is we get to see the dialogue exchange between Satoru and Yashiro Sensei, but we also get to see Yashiro Sensei's obsession with Satoru. I mean, we pretty much see Yashiro Sensei stalking Satoru 24/7 while he is in a coma, to the point where at even some points he even actually shaves his beard now and then when, you know, he's starting to grow facial hair. And it's just really odd seeing the obsession that he has for Satoru, because, you know, Satoru, as we see in this episode, Satoru meant a lot to Yashiro Sensei. Not exactly like a feeling of love kind of way, but more of like a thrill-seeking kind of way, because ever since Satoru ended up in a coma, Yashiro Sensei pretty much stopped kidnappings and murders for all we know. I mean, at least they didn't necessarily clarify that if he still actually ended up committing murders, but from what we know in this episode, it seems like everything just kind of stopped after Satoru was in a coma for 15 years, and once Satoru got his memories back and he awoke from his coma, Yashiro Sensei's life became thrilling again, in the sense. So pretty much that goes on for the entirety of the episode, and then we get the aftermath to where we see Satoru actually become a full-time manga artist, which was his dream after all, which is pretty awesome. And he also gets his own anime, which is also awesome. And then at the end of the anime episode, we get to see that Satoru ends up meeting Airi for the first time. Now, he did know Airi previously, but because of the timeline change, he never knew Airi in the first place. So that's why he was very surprised as to seeing Airi at the end of this episode. Now, I got a few complaints about Airi. I wouldn't necessarily say that these are complaints I have, but when it comes to the animation studio, I am going to make a complaint on how they actually dealt with Airi. Because how they dealt with Airi in the anime was very, you know, they just kind of shoved her to the side at some points. I mean, they would occasionally give her screen time, but nothing really impacted her as a character. However, in the manga, Airi actually has a purpose in the manga, and she is more significant to the manga in general because she actually shows up more, and as I stated before, she actually has a purpose. So, when it comes to how everything went down between each of the two, when it comes to the anime and when it comes to the manga, I have to say that the manga is superior. So does that mean that I hated the series as a whole? No, it does not. Actually, I think this was a pretty good series. I mean, it was alright. It wasn't the best. It certainly wasn't a masterpiece, which everyone apparently on Mal considered. I mean, why? But definitely this series was still pretty enjoyable for me, at least in my opinion. However, there were too many parts that, you know, were unanswered, that just didn't make sense at all. And it's like, you know, why did they skip over these parts which should have been implemented in the manga, even though they told us that we would get a manga ending? But, you know, we got an anime original ending, like, And before even this episode was aired, this series got a lot of hype. And I can see why, you know, the series got a lot of hype because of the fact, you know, it does have a unique premise. It is very interesting, especially with the whole revivals on how, you know, those go about in the anime series and in the manga as well. But, you know, it's nothing necessarily new that we have seen. I mean, we have seen the use of time travel done before in various other animes. It really just depends on how a series executes the time travel. But, you know, when it comes to the anime of Boku dake, like, a lot of parts were rushed. You know, there are still unanswered questions, especially on, like, how exactly did Satoru get out of the car when he was about to drown? You know, that was explained in the manga, which really should have been shown in the anime, me personally. I mean, I don't know. But, you know, other than the problems that I do have with this series, it was still pretty enjoyable. It was a fun ride, and yeah, we'll just go with that. So for any of you who actually do want to check out Boku dake ga Inai Machi's manga, and for you anime watchers that actually probably want to get the true ending and actually see how Irie actually plays a role into the actual storyline, then yeah, definitely go check out Boku dake ga Inai Machi's manga. I highly recommend it. You can even check it out on chapter 32 if you really wanted to start it off from there, because, I mean, you know, really the anime followed, like I said, the manga quite well up into the later episodes until it started deteriorating from its original source. So, yeah, definitely, you know, start on chapter 32, and there's about 44 chapters in all Boku dake ga Inai Machi's manga. So, if anything, start from there, and hopefully you actually will be satisfied after you end up reading the manga ending. So yeah, guys, that about does it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below on what you thought about this episode of Boku dake ga Inai Machi. And, you know, just let me know your overall thoughts on what you thought about the series. I mean, sorry I really didn't give an overall review of what I thought about this episode, mainly. But I mainly just wanted to give my overall thoughts and impressions of what I thought about the series as a whole. And that's what I want you guys to discuss in the comments down below about what you thought of Boku dake ga Inai Machi as a whole. Sure, the series does have flaws, but so do many other anime out there, and pretty much any form of media has flaws. And, you know, as long as I'm entertained, I'm fine with it. So yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and spring season is about to start, and we pretty much have almost all of the anime have finally ended for this winter season of anime. I cannot wait until the spring season starts. You know, there are so many anime that I'm looking forward to, and I just think, you know, the spring season is going to be a really hyped up year. Hopefully the hype doesn't necessarily kill the series, though, like it did Erased. See what I did there? I'll catch you guys next time.